How should the Israeli opposition challenge Benjamin Netanyahu and beat him in the upcoming elections? Well, my next guest thinks they should treat Netanyahu like someone who treats a bully who steals your lunch money. Let's say hello to the founder of Catalyst Campaigns and Revolution Messaging, Scott Goodstein, who served as online director of Barack Obama's 2008 campaign and also managed the digital strategy for the Bernie Sanders campaign. Scott, great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show. I want to start, before I ask you on what you think the Israeli opposition should be doing, tell me first about what you think the main differences and similarities that Israeli politics and current leaders in Israel have with their American counterparts.
Wow, I mean, both countries are going through such an interesting time that it's unbelievable. But the biggest difference, obviously, is Israel still, for the time being, is a parliament procedure, and so you have all of these different parties and factions. In the U.S., you're watching us in the very, very beginnings of one party going through. I think there's 25, who knows, maybe there'll be 30 factions inside the party. But instead, we're watching you form coalitions and blocs from all these multiple parties. I think that's the biggest difference.
And let's focus a bit on the leaders themselves, like Netanyahu and Trump. I want more of your thoughts on that. Why do you think, for example, Netanyahu has been able to hang on to power so long? And what makes him such a good politician? Is it a certain killer instinct that maybe he has that others don't?
I mean, I think he's doing modern campaigns in a way that a lot of the other parties that I've seen over there are not. He really has a pulse on people. He fights back very quickly. He does rapid response very quickly. I think a lot of folks look at him in the same way as I look at Donald Trump and say, wow, this guy fights really, really aggressively. But I think that there's a very sophisticated and a smart movement behind him that shouldn't be taken for granted.
Okay, let's move to the opposition, the Blue and White Party. They managed to get a pretty impressive, 35 seats in the elections in April. So maybe for this September election, September 17th, they should just stick to what they did, but just fine-tune it to get a few more seats.
Yeah, I don't agree with the sort of, oh, we'll just fine-tune it. I think that there was such a desire to go against Netanyahu that a lot of people sort of held their nose and voted for something different. But that didn't get them all the way there. And so without really giving bold ideas or saying something or standing for something, I remember Gantz didn't say anything for the first several weeks after he announced. Said very little. Talked about like education and not really big controversial issues. Not talking about how he was going to be very different from Netanyahu's administration. And so I think that if he really wants to unite all of the left and gain, he really needs to say something in a much bolder way. And maybe the time is too late. Maybe, other folks like Barack coming back in, or new leadership in labor, new leadership in Meretz, there will be somebody else that will be able to unite a coalition. I'm not sure what Gantz's strategy is. But saying nothing, to me, is just not a strategy.
But could it be, I mean, you talk about Benny Gantz correctly. Maybe, you could say that he just doesn't have what it takes. Maybe even the best of campaigns with the best campaign manager playing more hardball, it simply wouldn't work with Gantz?
See, I don't know Gantz. I've never met him. But to me, this message of thank you, we'll take it from here, or thank you, Netanyahu, for your service, we'll take it from here. If you're upset and you think that Bibi's a criminal, why are you thanking him? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't ignite the spirit of the base of the opposition that's upset with Netanyahu. This thank you, we'll take it from here mentality is not a fire in the belly opposition mentality, and that's where I think I don't really know Benny Gantz, but that just seems very, very poll-driven and very consultant-driven instead of a new vision and a new leader.